Hello horror fans, and welcome to another edition of Silver Screams, where we talk about all things horror related. Kind of different from the Scream vlogs. We are actually going to be talking about Gravity Falls Season 2, Episode 13, is it? Episode 11?
12A?
I think it's 12A.
No, actually, I really think it was.
I think it's 12.
I thought it was 12.
Somewhere in the middle.
There's not an A involved here.
Maybe that was the start of the next sentence.
A tale of two stands.
I'll put it in the title of the video.
It's 12.
Point being, guys, we're not getting
You found the A?
I found the A.
We're not getting another episode for another month, which is stupid, so we need to make ourselves a vlog to cope. And some of you might be saying, vlog for a show called Silver Screams, that the other vlog that we did was Scream, and we're going to be talking about horror movies and things like that.
Those of you who are complaining have probably never seen Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls counts. It's horror. It's a horror comedy, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
The very existence of Bill Cipher means that Gravity Falls counts.
Yes.
So, let us go ahead and introduce ourselves after that lengthy explanation. I'm Megan, this is Katie, and Michelle.
Hello.
I feel like you need a mug.
You do.
Cheers.
Come by.
So, to get things started off, how long has it been since the last episode aired? Was that
March.
Many moons.
March.
too long is how long? And Katie, we just got back from Comic-Con, Katie and I, and you actually made it into the Gravity Falls panel.
I did.
Do you want to
make it into the
share
Gravity
some
Falls
thoughts
panel.
on the panel prior to us talking about the episode?
I wish I'd known you were going to do me this. I live tweeted the whole thing, so everything is on my Twitter, and I don't have my phone handy, so I can't look at it.
We don't need a play-by-play, but you can tell us a little bit about what they talked about.
A brief summary.
Get it together, Cullen.
It's the day after Comic-Con. I'm
That's
still
true.
dead.
We're all pretty burnt out.
I am so
But
dead.
you said they showed
gave
us
us the
couple
release
clips.
dates for the next 2 episodes. They showed us a sizzle reel, which has, of course, already made its way online because exclusive footage.
Most
yeah,
of
not
Comic-Con
anymore.
has made its way online.
Let's be real. Yeah. That's a opinion for a whole other day.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did the sizzle reel. They talked about having the latter half of this season. We got a little bit of character development. We got a couple of questions answered, and then we got a couple of questions that were drowned out by Mabel going, la, 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 because that is seriously how they handled spoiler questions. God bless Kristen Shaw. She just...
I love her.
She's the best.
Because Alex would go, Mabel, would you like to answer that question? Just lean in the mic. La, 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 la. Thank you. Thank you for everything. We did get a little bit about how Mabel may not be ready to grow up yet, and there are aspects of the real world that she's not able to deal with, and I think we saw some of that in this episode. We did get a really good fan question about trust and the level of trust in characters trusting each other, and Alex Hirsch, the creator, his response to that was essentially characters with more complex inner lives are less likely to be trusting. So on one hand, we have Mabel and Seuss, who are simple, adorable cinnamon rolls, and they don't really see how anyone could be. Yeah, yes.
Don't be condescending. Don't be condescending. Continue.
You interrupted me.
Yeah. I was explaining. Continue, please.
And they don't really see how anyone else could be deceptive, whereas Dipper and the Stans know that they are able to deceive people and can therefore recognize that capability in others and are therefore less likely to be trusting right off the bat. So we got some pretty interesting stuff.
Now, I feel like Alex Hirsch has said that before, and kind of going off of that, he said Dipper wants to grow up too fast, Mabel doesn't.
Yeah.
And what I really liked about this episode, you know, Tale of Two Stans, is that in previous episodes we've seen that Grunkle Stan is very much similar to Mabel and similar to Dipper, but in this one we really see the parallels of which twin really parallels with which.
Yeah.
And
God bless Mabel trying to get them to hug it out. The hug train coming into town! An attempt was made.
So again, having been to Comic-Con, seeing the panel and everything like that, and for those of us who didn't, because I didn't get in either, and having had to wait for so long, initial thoughts on this week's episode.
Fucking finally!
Yeah, I feel like it's just overwhelming relief right now.
Yes.
Initially, to be like, yay, we get it.
It's also,
Yes.
look at all that backstory. Look at all those theories that are confirmed. Did it match up to your fan fiction?
So much backstory, and then it was done. And now I have to wait again.
Yeah, another month.
It's a roller coaster of emotions.
It is.
It's relief, happiness, sorrow, laughter a little bit, sorrow again, happiness and elation when it's done, and then anger and having to wait again.
You
Yes.
mostly just spend the whole episode kind of doing this. I'm looking and going, okay, tell me more. Okay, tell me more.
Yep.
Is that it? We're caught up? I loved the implications that that the machine that opened the door between dimensions is what brought Bill Cipher in.
Yes.
I love that implication.
That.
Like, congratulations, Stanford.
Look
You
at what
have
you
ruined
did.
everything.
You're why we can't have nice things.
The bit of
In Gravity Falls.
backstory that we didn't get that I wanted was the reason that Journal 3 specifically is spattered in what looks like blood on Bill's page with the message, do not summon at any cost. Because 1 and 2 don't have that message, because Gideon
Yes,
sure
well,
doesn't.
We see that they were written sequentially. Initially, when we see the journals, we think that it's possible that they're copies of each other.
Yeah.
Like he made 3 copies of the same journal and hid them for safety purposes. That is not the case. It's Journal 1, Journal 2, Journal 3. And so
he just saved the space in the middle of all of them for the
it makes
planet.
sense that, well, I mean, look at what he was doing. And
It's the centerfold. It needs to be special.
And look at what he was studying and everything like that. So it makes sense that 1 and 2 would be written kind of almost with a sense of optimism, and that 3 is where things start to really go off the rails. And we see that when Stan Lee comes back, not Stan Lee, Stanley, when he comes back and they're reunited, Stanford's out of his mind almost. He's like borderline, not crazy, but he's definitely paranoid. Like, have you come to collect my eyes? What does that even mean?
That was wonderful.
I
Much
hope that's
eye
explained.
imagery though. There was even the eye up in the top of their house as kids because their mom was a psychic, but that eye is still there. It doesn't fucking leave.
You know, I didn't even notice that.
I didn't
I
either.
did.
Wow.
Oh, I did.
Dark.
I did.
Boo. I will kick you out. I will
Oh.
kick you out.
I live here.
I saw what you did there with my eye.
I'm never inviting either of you.
Either.
This is over. No.
It shouldn't be funny at all, but it is. I'm
Quit
actually,
laughing at my pain. Anyway,
It's late at night and we're all a little traumatized.
let Michelle talk.
I'm
Of course.
actually pretty okay with the fact that they didn't explain that note on Journal 3. I feel like that would have been too much backstory, too much explanation in one action-packed episode that we were all waiting for. It builds us up. It makes it exciting to
And we got
watch in the future.
so much.
We
It
did.
almost,
Yes.
it almost feels greedy to ask for, because
Yeah.
it doesn't, like, we're like Dipper at the end of this episode. I have millions of questions.
Yep.
But we got so many answers. And I'm really kind of flabbergasted that we got as much as we did, because we got so little resolution in season 1. And season 2 has been moving at such a quick pace in terms of resolving things fans were unhappy with.
Thank goodness.
Giving people more horror, actually listening to the fan feedback and providing that. And I'm really excited that a lot of those questions that were up in the air have been checked off and we can move on. This is not a series that is going, like, there will always be mystery, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
But, like, it's fantastic because so much of the mystery was who wrote the journal and where did he go, what happened to him, what is that big portal thing. And we know, and I never thought we would know that quickly.
But this is a series that when it answers one question, it opens up to more.
But, like, the thing...
But it's not like, and now there's this. It's very organic.
But what I appreciate about it, and this is just as somebody who started Lost from the beginning, and stuck with it until the season finale, however many years later. This feels like it's going somewhere. It doesn't feel like we're just making it up as we go along.
That is actually something he said at the panel. Alex did. Because someone asked, did you know the author of the journals was going to be, brother? And he said, when you ask questions at the beginning, you have to know the answers before you start. Otherwise, you Shyamalan it. It's like, yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
That's a beautiful
It's like, otherwise you
way to
Shyamalan
put
it at the end. It's like, yeah.
Shyamalan a ding dong. He's all up in that business.
So, and that was
put that on a t-shirt.
and that was one of those things that got laughter and groans from the audience at the same time. Just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. It doesn't feel like he's spinning his wheels. It doesn't feel like it's purposely being dragged out, like they're dragging their feet. It feels like we're moving forward, and that it's meant to move forward. Like, this is what we're doing, and this is always the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah. I'm waiting for Bill to come back. I'm expecting this to be almost season finale material, with Bill coming back and being like, oh, look, it's you.
There will probably be an epic face-off between Bill and the Stans.
And
everyone.
To go back when...
And seeing the little shapeshifter hatch. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. That's a good
screaming. Screaming
happened. What was your favorite, little thing of seeing, from the past in Gravity Falls? What was your favorite kind of thing where it's like, oh, it fell into place?
I don't know if it was the shapeshifter hatching or the Schmebulok senior.
Not Lazy Susan getting her
Lazy Susan was dead. I was like, that's Lazy Susan. Yeah. She's got both that. Oh, not anymore.
I actually irrationally loved seeing all of the characters in the town before, their current states.
Yeah, before they became cops.
When Drunkle Stan opened up the Mystery Shack and... rob them blind of their money for fun.
And evidently, Wendy's dad was help building the house at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I missed that, but I caught the eye.
I liked, probably my favorite thing was seeing the get him guy's mom, run! That was probably my favorite thing. I enjoyed that. And seeing Fiddleford.
That poor bastard.
He could have been Steve Jobs.
Yep. He was creating personal computers in his garage in Palo Alto. Gravity Falls pulls no punches.
Also, Zeus's line about if it didn't line up with his fan fiction, he was going to be so disappointed.
God bless Zeus. Zeus is
beautiful.
Amazing.
That was really great. That was pretty fantastic.
Poor McGucket winding up halfway through the portal and getting super fucked up. That's what makes me think that Bill was on the other side, because he came out babbling about something with one eye.
It might not have even been Bill. It might have been the future or an alternate reality. Like if we're going time travel multiverse theory, it could have been a possible future where Bill causes the apocalypse or something.
Yeah. But it looks like time passes in about the same way.
I'm not saying there's
dimension.
I'm not saying there is time travel. I'm just saying it could be a multiverse thing where you go and see another world or see a possible future. I don't know. It could be the Stargate for all I know. He could meet up with Kurt Russell on the other end.
But that's another question that it raised organically.
James Spader.
What the hell did he see in that portal?
Whatever it is, you know what we didn't do? We didn't rewind and listen to the backwards message flipped the other way, because he was speaking backwards when he came out. And Gravity Falls loves to do that. Sometimes they do it as a joke, like when
Gideon summoned
backwards message. But every now and then they intentionally throw in backwards messages for the fans who like to dig into all of that.
Well, and evidently the codes that are at the bottom of every episode at the very end, according to Alex, they write them half an hour before they have to turn the final version of the episode in. He was like, yeah, those are
so sweet.
I wish we weren't too lazy to
look them up.
Yeah, we didn't look up this one.
No. I don't know if
we'll talk about it yet. We'll talk about it in a month when we do the next one.
Yeah,
no kidding.
We have time.
There's time now, everyone.
There is.
So something we haven't talked about, J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons.
Bring me pictures of Bill Cipher.
Michelle, what did you think of the casting?
I appreciate J.K. Simmons more than words can say.
Try to find them.
He makes me happy in everything he does.
Yeah. No, and his voice work is so entertaining.
It is.
Cave Johnson, and then I think he actually does the voice of J. Jonah Jameson on like Ultimate Spider-Man now. I think they got it. I might be making that up. Don't quote
And
me.
he does Tenzin in Korra.
That was my next thing. He's a regular on Legend of Korra.
I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been one of my friends, but J.K. Simmons is the actor who's known for that one role, except it's every role he's
Every
done.
single role.
All of them.
Have any of us seen Whiplash? I haven't seen Whiplash.
No,
haven't.
I need to. I hear it's quite good.
I do
haven't. And despite all of the things I love that he does, I love Juno the most.
He was hilarious.
He's just the greatest Midwestern dad besides mine.
But it
You're
was
welcome.
Well,
as hilarious
You said
as
this
he
to him.
is. It's still kind of heartbreaking to see these brothers with the same dynamic that Dipper and Mabel have, and to see it just like further on down the line go horribly wrong. I guess the benefit that Dipper and Mabel have is that presumably their parents aren't as terrible assholes as Stan and Stan's parents, because they're pretty terrible.
You can tell that Stan and Stan's parents were terrible because they named them Stan and Stan.
Although,
you don't do that to your children.
I did like that they, towards the very end of actually showing the family, it's like, look, here's a baby. That's how you have family elsewhere outside of the two of you.
Yep.
It's like you have these two high school age kids and then you had a baby.
Thank you, Disney.
Although, like, that does, I mean, I
does answer who their parents are. Who, Dipper and Mabel's parents are.
Well, Stan was their great uncle, so that's more of their grandma.
True.
Yeah.
But it's not a direct relation of either of the. It's not any of their kids. Neither of them had kids.
Point being, we know where Dipper and Mabel come from through that one child being there for about 3 seconds.
Yep.
She exists. We're good.
Whether it was a boy, it was their sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that explains that. very briefly.
That the fucking up of Ford's project was an accident.
This is a children's show, Katie.
You really think kids are going to be watching a horror show? Because we build this as a horror after
Yeah, but
show.
it's going to say Gravity Falls on there. Watch your language.
Kids
anyway,
swearing is
little
naughty.
Anyway.
That's right, kids. Don't be Katie.
You were fucking saying?
Yes, I fucking was.
Go ahead.
I do like that messing up the experiment. Like, we've seen this before. We've seen it happen. It goes down a lot in this kind of programming. But I did like that it was an accident.
I will say that's karma for littering.
Yeah, no.
Point.
Yes.
I liked that both of these incidents were accidents, because when they initially set up the idea that Stanford was going away to college, it looked like, and given again what we know about Stan, it was entirely plausible that he would have purposely sabotaged that. And I'm really glad they didn't go that route, because I mean, I think that would have been a little bit too much for his character. It would have been a little bit too, almost irredeemable, I think, at that point. Understandable, but still is like, that's one step
A little
too
too
far.
dark.
Yeah. Well, I just don't know why it was necessary for both of the brothers to be called to the principal's office when only one was going in. It was setting up for the other to overhear that he's basically an idiot. And it's like, was that necessary?
That was the one thing that was
the
forced.
feeling that they do that all the time.
That they
because
treat
if
them
they
as a
just say
unit,
Stan, maybe the wrong one will come. So if they say the twins, they get them both, and then just the way the secretary acted, evidently 90% of the time it's Stan Lee that has to go in. This one was, no, not you, you. Like, oh, that's different.
And looking at their, social situation, they're their only friends. So they're essentially probably treated as a unit.
Yeah.
And so, probably just out of habit. But I will agree with you, that was the one thing that was kind of forced. That was the one bit of this whole thing that was contrived.
Yep.
I don't know. My dad had the same name as his cousin when they went to high school, and he got called down to the principal's office more than once for stuff that
but they didn't say the Cullen boys get over it.
No, but I wouldn't
Cullen
be surprised if that had started.
The Cullen cousins are nothing but trouble.
I actually do think that happened in high school. I'm going to say that. I think they all got called down once.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Not to give one of them an award.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not to give one of them an award and tell the other one, by the way, you're terrible. Like, that's just bad schooling.
I don't know. I think your dad would have gotten the award and mine would have gotten into trouble.
I think they both would have gotten in trouble, but my dad would have gotten in less trouble.
Yes.
Oh,
so where does Cousin Tom fit in all this?
He's the one that actually did the trouble and got away with it. That's a little bit of family history.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes.
You're learning a lot about their family on
It's our family backstory.
Everybody needs a backstory.
But our dads are twins, and they're both doing just fine.
Yeah, no one got sucked into another dimension.
Another worldly portal.
But yeah, the other thing,
down.
we get the tattoo origin, which
is a burn.
Yeah. And again, this whole thing was just really tragic, and I really liked how we got to see how both of them ended up the way they were. We resolved the whole thing about the government closing in on them.
Yeah.
That's been at least delayed for now, which is, I will say, is a shame because I love Nick Offerman.
I know.
I want him in this show more.
Ron Swanson, secret agent.
I mean, I love it. It's great. He needs to be in the show more often.
Why did Dipper even have the memory gun? When did he pick that up? I don't remember.
It was back in March.
I don't remember.
He used it on you, apparently. I feel like they snagged it. Well, they had it when they defeated the Society of the Blind Eye.
That's true.
And so they probably just hung on to it. Yep. And
he just keeps it in his backpack for emergencies, I guess.
I was really sad the grappling hook didn't come in this episode.
But we've already been closed space.
We have had the payoff for that joke already.
I know.
And I feel like it's going to come up again at the end of every season.
I hope so, because I love it every time.
And one of the bad things about kind of the setup for this is it would break my heart to see, like, Mabel trying to force what Stan was trying to force. Hey, it's you and me forever, buddy, even when that's clearly not what you want.
I will say that Stan, on one hand, it's like, yeah, Stanford's really paranoid, and on the other hand, it's like, hey, brother, come visit me. Now take this and get out. You're just like, dang. No wonder he's angry. You didn't explain anything.
He didn't explain anything, and then Stan worked for years and years and years and faked his own death and worked for years and years and years to get his brother back. And yeah, his brother didn't see any of that work, and yeah, it was really risky, especially if that was where Bill Cipher came from.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that was a really big risk.
Well, it's a giant inverted triangle with a huge hole in the middle. I mean, where have we seen that before?
Yeah, it was Stanley's fault, but at the same time, it's like, well, you both did this to yourselves.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It was because both of you were so stubborn. Like, when Stanley was thrown out, he didn't necessarily have to turn his back on him forever. Yeah, he could be mad at him for however long, but then, like, wait, you can't call up your brother? Yeah, you're working hard and everything like that, but I don't know.
Say it doesn't make sense for a scientist to go into a big presentation without double and triple checking what they're going to show, especially if it's a mechanical thing. You do a dress rehearsal. It doesn't make any sense for him to just come back in and be like, it's covered in a cloth.
Yeah, it was a perpetual motion device, so when he came in, if it wasn't moving...
He was excited. Yeah. Cut the nerd some slack.
But you would also think that if this was the biggest damn day of your life, you would make sure that everything was perfect. And that includes multiple checks to make sure that the thing you're showing works.
I will say, though, like, I mean, as somebody who's given a presentation where technical difficulties happen,
Yeah.
you know, on numerous occasions, it happens. So I'm not gonna harp on it for that.
And there's a big difference between, okay, the projector's not working for some reason, it's not pairing with the Apple TV, and this thing I built that I haven't checked on in over 24 hours before doing this presentation isn't working right now. Like, well, you didn't check on it for 24 hours before the presentation.
I mean, it is possible that it was working, and when he checked on it, and then it blew a fuse, and then it like blew a fuse, like because it was a ticking time bomb.
True.
That's
but the
possible.
cut implied that he didn't check.
Whatever.
Which is a bit of an oversight.
Tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
I just fully appreciated right now in this reflective moment while you were talking that it's an incredibly elaborate ruse to actually kill yourself when your twin is a recluse, you're on the opposite side of the country, nobody knows who you are. Why was it necessary for him to kill himself off? I kind of want an answer to that question.
Honestly, I feel like that was to escape one of the towns where he had screwed everything up. I don't think he killed himself off in a response.
On the East Coast, though.
Stanford owned the house. It was his name on the mortgage. Like, I think even Stanley made a comment about, like, I had to pay his mortgage somehow. You know, that sort of thing. So, in order to get him back, Stan rationalized that he had to be him. And that, including the legal ramifications of that. And if he was, you know, he himself, Stanley, is wanted in several states, the easiest way to keep people from finding out he's posing as his twin brother,
Is to fake his own death.
Is to fake his own death.
That is actually fair.
Yeah, so it makes sense if you look at it from the law enforcement side of it.
The
which I'm sure he's
ripoff.
very familiar with.
Yeah, if he wasn't like
sham.
and again, the family hadn't disowned Stanley. They had disowned, they hadn't disowned Stanford. They had disowned Stanley. So losing him is not a big deal. Losing Stanford is a big deal.
Yeah.
Sad to say, like, again, parents of the
That
year.
also means that sister or, you know, sister's kids think that they are sending their children to live with the responsible science uncle.
I don't know necessarily if that's the idea, because I mean they have to know it's a mystery shack.
Oh yeah,
True.
Because
but Stanford's always been the responsible one.
But he's still the responsible one. But I mean, he's the responsible one with a science background, but there's no way that they like don't know about the mystery shack and about his different eccentricities. They say
because Stanley's been Stanford for 30 years.
So conceivably, they're the parents' entire lifetime.
Yeah. And Mabel and Dipper are 12.
Yeah,
they
didn't even know Stanley was a person.
That's the second
I'm just thinking that Mabel and Dipper's parents would know about Stanley and Stanford from their mom.
But again, it's 30 years, so it's like, oh yeah, you had another uncle, he died.
Yeah.
It's like, that could be the extent of it.
Yeah, especially because she was a baby when they were going to graduate high school, so she would have probably never met her older brother.
No. But the point I'm getting at is that she would have known Stanford as the successful one.
Yeah.
He went to a relatively good school, he got a grant, he did all this stuff.
This is, again, this is assuming like that they even let her know that there were two brothers.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, sometimes parents lie about that sort of thing.
They were not the parents.
True, but that's a lot of family photos to clear out.
But again, like looking at their parentage, it makes sense.
In Harry Potter, you just go obliviate. Pictures erased.
And here you have a gun.
Well, no, here, like, again, all you would have to do is, like, you know, put a couple photographic albums in the attic. And that's it. That's the extent of it. And just
kids never go in attics.
Of a baby coming out of a spaceship. Now I'm just getting distracted.
Of course kids don't go in attics. You have to reach up to the thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Finding pictures of you being found in the woods by a spaceship.
Yep.
You being found in the woods by a spaceship.
Yep.
Or in a spaceship.
Yeah.
Or by a
I had
spaceship.
this moment of
Near it.
it just grammar
Spaceship
is like a
adjacent.
spaceship just found you in the woods. Like
Having
found in
issues
the
with
woods by a
prepositions.
spaceship. I definitely had this moment of, did the spaceship find you?
Again, we're starting to ramble, but go
I
ahead.
went to school for music technology.
And I went to school for English.
That one.
Not that you know it from this video.
Anyway, so we're rambling a bit. It's
We are.
late.
It's okay.
So guys, final thoughts on this and having to wait another month before we get the next chapter of the story, and how this is going to, as Mabel put it, really change the family dynamic. Like, things are different now and they will never be the same.
I really shouldn't, but I do trust Alex Hirsch, the creator, just to kind of keep this on the rails.
Why would you not
Whatever.
trust him?
Because he's Alex Hirsch, and he faked a screenshot, tweeted it, and then got angry that it got leaked to throw the fandom off and scare the daylights out of everyone. He does this for
know this happened.
funsies.
I would do that for fun.
I didn't say I trusted him in terms of marketing and advertising. I trust him as a storyteller.
I trust him as a storyteller. I don't trust him as a person.
What a mean
trust-
things to say.
certain aspects of his character.
Yes.
All right.
That.
But you, Michelle?
I am excited for August. I don't know. I think I can't even accurately predict. It's definitely going to change how they interact in the Mystery Shack. I do love that it ended on the lighthearted note of Zeus telling Wendy 3 in the
Clear
morning.
the next 14 hours.
Just being completely unable to keep the stairs.
Dude, it's 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. Okay, Act 2.
Act 2.
And we did have Mabel lying awake worrying about the future when
Yeah.
Dipper just conked right off. It's like, that is backwards.
Well, because this is what Dipper always wanted.
That's true.
Yeah.
You said
And
yourself,
now he's-
or that they said in the panel, Mabel doesn't want to grow up, which means she probably doesn't like change.
Oh, no.
Especially, again, it's kind of like seeing a possible future.
Yeah.
And so,
Especially because they're twins.
yeah.
It's
And
very
it
close
was
to home.
it was the
Twins
same
running
thing.
families.
They do.
It was the same thing that happened to Stanley, back when they were in high school. He saw a possible future without his brother. And that's what Mabel's seeing now.
Yeah.
And for poor Stanley, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And that's what makes me worried about Mabel. I really don't want her to try to force the situation, but I feel like that's what they're going to do. And I hate seeing that because it's awkward and it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, we also now have Stanford living in the basement.
Yeah.
So they know he's there, and Stanley's going to do his damnedest to keep Dipper away from him because, surprise, surprise, he's dangerous. And Stanford basically said, yeah, I'll give you the summer to take care of the kids, and then y'all can get out of my house.
Thank goodness that they were there, because otherwise they would have just kept beating each other.
Yeah.
And then this whole thing probably would have started all over again.
Yep.
Just, hi, Mabel here. Let me ask a question. What just happened? God bless.
Yep.
How
Alright.
about you? Your final thoughts.
I really enjoyed, this show is always a delight. I think there's only like one episode where I'm like, I didn't really like that. Even that one has like great moments. Dipper versus Manliness, I'm not super fond of.
Yeah.
Alfred Molina being the multi-bear amuses
That was
me
pretty great.
He's so
I
much.
did like the multi.
But like the whole like manly man thing, some of those jokes are funny, and the whole Lazy Susan story arc thing was really funny.
Her having a crush on Grunkle Stan is weird now that we know that he's the one that indirectly screwed up her
Yeah, but it
eyes.
was 30 years ago.
But she's not all there.
No one in Gravity Falls really is.
Yeah, but Lazy Susan is less there.
I'm sure something else happened to her in those 30 years.
Well, evidently she has been obliviated quite a few times.
Everybody in the town, basically, has been affected by the Society of the Blind Eye, at least at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Which
And we know
probably
that
explains
screws up
why
your
they're
brain.
so freaking off. Which, poor Fiddleford going, I've seen things I'd rather forget. So maybe, hopefully, he'll remember what he saw at some point this season. That would be great.
That would be awesome.
But ultimately, unless you guys have any final thoughts, I think that wraps it up.
Till August.
Yeah.
All right, till August, guys. We'll see
Looking
you
forward
next
to
time.
it.
Yay!